Mercedes. I did not expect Mercedes to be our MVP, but okay, I'll take it. We're getting some very interesting MVPs this time around. Like, was not expecting that. But I guess Dimitri doesn't have his battalion vantage yet, so he's not yet in kill everyone territory.
Looks like we somehow managed to sort things out, and casualties were kept to a minimum. They said they weren't picky about who they used as their test subjects. Because of them, the people of Ramire Village.
There you are.
That armor. So, you're the Flame Emperor.
Yes. I believe you have met my subordinate, the Death Knight.
Oh, we've met all right. But back to you. You're the one responsible for the destruction of this village.
Do not get the wrong idea.
What in blazes does that mean?
It is true that I am working with Solon, but that does not mean our objectives are the same.
I do not have the same objectives as the murderer. I'm just helping him hide the body. I am innocent. Fuck you. No.
Had I known they planned to do this, I would have stopped it. You have my word.
Uh-huh.
Your words are meaningless.
Exactly.
Now, I'll have to insist that you accompany us back to the monastery.
I cannot abide that. However, if you wish to join forces, I will hear your plea.
Yeah, I'm gonna work together with somebody who tried to kidnap one of my students and take her blood and whose allies just, you know, burned down the village that saved me. But we're totally gonna do that, yeah.
What?
If left to their own devices, they will commit countless more violent acts like this one. Do you not wish to prevent that?
It seems they are doing it whether you're there or not, so...
With the creator on our side, Solon would not be a threat.
In case you did not notice, Flame Emperor, I defeated him with an Iron Plus axe. I don't need the sword of the creator. Fuck off.
Pity, though not unexpected. Pray that you do not live to regret your choice.
I won't. Goodbye.
Gerald, Professor, have you seen His Highness?
What's wrong, kid? Huh? Oh, damn it!
Of course, when you play this with the Black Eagles and you choose Edelgard, the person coming here to ask where the house leader is Hubert. And once you know who is who, that actually gets extremely hilarious.
He's gone.
But yeah, that was a very successful map, honestly.
Hey, I've been meaning to talk to you. Since coming to the monastery, you've changed. You've been angry since we first arrived in Ramire Village. And you look so happy when you're instructing the brats. Before the monastery, I'd never seen you bear your emotions like that. Not once.
Yeah, who would have known that raising a child on the battlefield surrounded by mercenaries is going to leave them a bit emotionally stunted? Total shocker.
Then perhaps it's a good thing we came to the monastery. If only so I could see your face lit up like that. Or maybe there was never any reason for us to leave the monastery in the first place. I've put my foot in my mouth, haven't I? Though I suppose it may be nearly that time.
And this is the beginning of the game telling us that, hey, this entire red herring that we've been putting up about the church and the Rhea being super suspicious, that was actually really just a red herring.
Come to my office when you next have a moment to spare. There's something I need to tell you.
And this is pretty much Gerald waving his death flag.
Just what was that about? I can't recall a time of old when you were at the monastery. I wonder what is hiding in the mist that is your past.
Like every single time a character tells you something like, when next we meet, I will tell you all my secrets, or come see me and I will explain everything to you.
Professor,
Expect that they're gonna die.
I'm sorry you saw that side of me in the village. It must have been quite a shock to you and the others. I'm mortified by my behavior. When I saw the chaos and violence there, my mind just went completely dark.
It's called PTSD, my man.
I I see why you would say that. I always strive to keep my emotions at bay, but sometimes the darkness takes hold and it's impossible to suppress. It just shows you how lacking I am. I have much to learn.
No, it shows me how much therapy you need. Unfortunately, there are no therapists in Fotland, at least as far as I can see.
I've told you before that someday we may find ourselves facing something we simply cannot accept. That's what the chaos in Remire Village was to me. Solon and the Flame Emperor are both beasts who must be eliminated. Demons who kill the innocent. They aren't even human at this point.
That's a bit much. Although, again, remember that Dimitri looks at humanity not as, like, what species are you, but how do you behave? And in that context, yeah.
It must be hard to fathom. It's true that I don't have any strong connection to those villagers. And yet... You see, Professor, I saw the same flames of torment just 4 years ago. In Dusker.
Please, have mercy! Yeah, the pain! Make the burning stop! Help me! Somebody!
Avenge us! Those who killed us! Tear them apart! Destroy them all!
Now, from what we later learn about Lambert, it is highly unlikely that those were his last words, but yeah.
My father, my stepmother, 4 years ago, they lost their lives to those flames. I'll never forget. I still remember their faces, their screams, the tortured last moments of every person who died that day.
That is PTSD.
But right now, all that matters is that we do whatever we can to help the surviving villagers get back to their normal lives. Thank you for everything. There's a reason that I came to the Officers' Academy. Just one reason. I came here for revenge. And one day, I will have it.
Okay. But it is very telling that immediately he pivots back to, we need to help people. Like, yeah, what happened was awful, and how I'm acting is awful. We need to help people.
You did well handling that awful business in Remire Village. I am certain the goddess shares in our grief at the senselessness of that calamity. More importantly, I was shocked to hear that our own Tomas was actually a dark mage. I must reflect on our blindness.
And here is where I really have to question the competency of the Adjutants, because we will learn eventually that they want the goddess and her children dead. And they actually want all of humanity dead as well. They just want everybody dead, but especially the children of the goddess and the servants of the goddess. And Rhea, spoilers, is a child of the goddess. They had so many chances to kill her. They had a mole in there who completely flew under her radar. You cannot tell me that you don't have any sort of weapon that is capable of killing somebody of her caliber, that he could just shank her with at any given moment. But no, apparently Tomas has been there for several years, because he was replaced the last time he left. And they just didn't take any opportunity to kill her. They are so stupid. They are the most incompetent villains ever. But yeah.
You surely must. You failed to notice that a rat was hiding in your home. Pathetic.
Sophus is not impressed.
Who are these wicked foes? How did Tomas escape your gaze?
But this also explains why Tomas, when you first encountered him in the monastery and he tells you like, oh, I've served at Garrick Mark for, well, I don't even remember how many years. It's like, yeah, you don't remember because you are not Tomas, you are Solon, and you really should have done better research.
Tomas came to the monastery 40 years ago, by recommendation of House Ordelia of the Alliance. Around 8 years ago, he went back to House Ordelia, before returning to the monastery once again, just last year. After having worked at Garrick Mach for decades, why would he betray us now? Just what did he hope to accomplish? Yuritsa became a professor at the Officers' Academy because of a recommendation from the Imperial nobility. Supposing that he is the Death Knight, that means that our enemy is an organization that has taken root in at least 2 territories.
In the long history of the Church of Seros, no, long before even that, there have been an endless number of threats to the peace of Fodlan. Yet those who oppose us still operate in the shadows. Their identity is a mystery. I believe that Solon and the Death Knight are merely one part of a much larger whole.
A threat to Fodlan's peace? That means we have no choice. We have to stop them all.
I have truly come to rely on you. I believe that the monastery will remain safe so long as we have you. We do not yet know the enemy's objective or whereabouts. For now, please devote yourself to preparing for whatever comes next.
That is all for today.
Professor, please wait. I know there is much that you still do not understand. However, one thing is clear. You possess great power. I believe that you are destined to be a source of great hope for all. In any case, I expect great things from you. Walk this world proudly, dear Professor. May the goddess Sothis protect you.
The goddess Sothis? Is that what she just said?
Okay, here's the hilarious part. When I first saw this dialogue, I basically went, how do you work in a monastery for 9 months and not know the name of the goddess? How is this a surprise to you? And I remember posting about that on Tumblr, and then one of my followers was like, I think they were Jewish, and they were like, yeah, actually, in my faith, like in my denomination, that would be something so normal. Like, I did not know the name that we use for God until I was like 14 years old. So that was the least surprising thing about the Seros faith for me. And I was like, okay, I learned something new today. Apparently there are religions, or at least denominations of religions, where you can go for years without learning the name of your God. But I found this scene so hilarious when I first heard it. But yeah, Sophis is the goddess, and that is the reason why Xanadu is familiar to her, because Xanadu is where the goddess first arrived in Fodlan. It is where Sophis first arrived in Fodlan. So yeah, we have the literal goddess in our head in this game. Amazing.
Is something the matter?
And you actually lose support points here if you say I had never heard the name of the goddess. So apparently Rhea at least expected you to read up on it.
I see. In that case, farewell.
Do not say something that we may regret. What exactly am I? For now, let's leave this place. Please, go!
Alright. We're going to proceed until we get to the day selection in the monastery, and then we're going to call it quits for today. And I'm just going to do the exploration fishing offline, so we can just proceed with normal exploration tomorrow.
Though most stars will still glimmer in the crisp winter air, the blue sea star has gone back into hiding. Legend states that the goddess prays for peace from her home in the heavens. In the town of Garreg-Mach, the anniversary of the monastery's completion nears, and the people's prayers intensify ahead of the Millennium Festival, still 5 years hence.
Come on, load faster. Thank you. Oh, tea potty. Alois. Yeah, let's go. I have no idea what he likes, so I'm just gonna look it up. Alois. Crescent moon tea. Let's go.
I'm here, Professor. That delightful smell. My favorite tea. Is it yours too?
I'm just gonna say yes.
Sorry to trouble you.
And you can see from the meager offer of cookies in the bottom left that we have no support with him at all just yet. Gifts you'd like to receive? Yeah. Your ambitions. Let's go. Working hours for guards probably, because he is a knight, so...
There's nothing worse than trying to explain a joke.
Yeah, agree, nod, whatever. Command. Yes, perfect. Let's go.
Thanks.
Oh, whoops. I did not want to skip that dialogue. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. I guess we're watching his support first.
Hello, Professor. You're really on the move today. A lot to get done, I take it? I'm happy to help. Tell me, is there anything I can do to lighten your load a bit? Oh, surely there must be something. Don't be shy about asking for help. We're practically siblings, after all. Cut from the same cloth. I was raised by Gerald just as you were, so we should have no trouble getting along. Huh? Did I not mention that? How thoughtless! What an embarrassing gaffe! My parents died when I was small, and I came to live in the monastery. It was an aimless existence. But sometimes, a knight would pass by, wearing magnificent armor. That knight was Gerald. And the first time he laid eyes on me, he made me his squire. What was he thinking, huh? No kidding. I don't think I'll ever fully understand his logic. Later, I heard that the squire preceding me had died of a terrible plague. I looked a bit like him and was about the same age, so Gerald thought me a suitable replacement. A little nutty, old Gerald, there's no doubt about that. Quite a character.
Yeah, as we will find out in the support between, I think it's Alois and Leonie, part of like being a squire included that whenever Gerald was drunk, he would basically, or when Gerald was drunk, he would basically just throw an axe at Alois's or just above Alois's head as a targeting practice. So, let's just say Gerald is not the most responsible person, whether as a parent or as a knight.
All that was more than 30 years ago. How time flies. That's right. I wasn't even 15 years old. Well, Gerald hardly seems to have aged since then. In fact, over drinks he once told me, perhaps that's a story for another day. At any rate, that's Gerald for you. One of a kind. I don't think there's anyone else quite like him. Right. Well, now you've heard my whole story. I hope that you understand now why I feel such a strong sense of attachment to you. If you're ever in a bind, just give me a holler. I'll help however I can. Indeed, indeed. Well, I'll let you get back to it. But truly, if I can take anything off your plate, don't hesitate to let me know.
All right, thanks.
We are planning a grand ball for this month. I'm sure the students will be most pleased.
Yes, certainly. However, we must not devote all of our time to frivolity. We have a new mission for you. We have found evidence of someone sneaking into an unused chapel.
No, there is nothing of value in that building. We do not yet know what the intruder's objectives are.
This month, your class is tasked with guarding the chapel and investigating these intruders. With the recent state of affairs surrounding the Holy Church, we cannot afford to overlook any abnormality, no matter how seemingly trivial.
I am ordering a seasoned knight to assist you to ensure the safety of the students. In times like these, I am afraid we must always expect the worst.
Reporting for duty, Lady Rhea.
I thought you two could use the time to bond. And to speak of important matters.
That is so sweet of her.
Appreciate the thought.
Bear in mind that Gerald has a separate mission of his own. He will join you once he has finished it.
It's true. I'll be away from the monastery for a while. But when I return, I'll come and watch you work. I'll be looking forward to it.
He keeps on waving his death flag. Like, even if you know nothing about the story, even if you're just vaguely familiar with the tropes of Japanese video games or anime, you know exactly what's coming. He could not be more obvious. I have somebody who can take an advanced certification. Dimitri. 74%, I might actually take that. Do I have anybody else? No. Okay, we're gonna save and we're just gonna try that. And then we're gonna call it quits for today. Paladin, please, let's try. Perfect. Good job, Dimitri.
Good results.
All right. So yeah. Oh, we got new supports with who? We're gonna look at these, or that support tomorrow. So for now, we're gonna call it quits. I'm gonna be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Berlin, Vienna, entire Central European time, whatever. And like I said, I will actually start the exploration and I will do some fishing, because this is the day when we have the fishing event where we get multiple fish per catch, which means we get a ton of XP. So I'm gonna do that offline, because it's just gonna be 2.5 hours of fishing, which is gonna be boring as fuck for everybody, including myself. And you guys don't need to see that on stream. So we will continue after that in the exploration. And I hope to see you all there. Until then, thank you for joining me today. Hope you have a good night and have a good weekend. Bye bye.